Hello everyone, I'm OP Tank bringing you another Neverwinter video, and today we are going to be covering over some tips, tricks, and just some general useful knowledge to help those who wish to level more efficiently, or if you've been playing the game for a while, some of these tips can be quite useful. Here's to hoping that this will at least help you out in some way. So, as per usual, I will be including timestamps down in the description below, so you can immediately jump to the parts you wish to see. I'll be going into a certain amount of detail as per usual, just so those brand new players that have no idea what's really going on can get a really solid understanding of what's taking place here. So, without further ado, let us begin with number 1, tutorial and questing. So when you first create your character, you'll always start at the exact same location, regardless of your race or your class. You will do the tutorial. Upon completion of the tutorial, you'll be level 5, and you'll be visiting this guy, Sergeant Knox, who actually kind of looks like Nick Fury, but with really cool armor and a cape. He'll be your go-to guy for your questing. Every time that he has a quest, he will have a yellow exclamation mark above his head, so similar to what Sabella has, except it's going to be yellow over on top of him. He'll give the quest, he'll send you to a particular location. From there, there'll be a variety of quests to complete for him. Upon completion of that zone, there'll be a quest to come back to Sergeant Knox, where he will give you more quests to another zone, so on and so forth, for the questing period for the storyline of the game. Now on to number 2. Bag space. Bag space is very important in Neverwinter. If you're not careful, it fills up fast, and you gotta figure out what you need to keep and what you don't want to keep. So it's very important that while you're leveling, to sell items that you don't need and break down the other stuff that you don't need for refinement points. The only real things you're going to want to keep during your leveling process is you're going to want to keep mount insignias. You want to keep any marks of potency rank 3 and above, and any enchanting stones rank 3 and above. Other than that, most things can be destroyed or broken down. All the old gear that you get, you'll be picking up new stuff all the time from questing and occasionally from killing enemies. You definitely need to stay on top of your bag space. It will fill up very quickly. And speaking of bag space, that brings us on to number 3. You can actually increase your inventory by getting 3 free bags just by playing through the campaign. The storyline, I should say. So you'll get 1 free bag at the very beginning when you first start. They'll always have it, everyone always gets it. It's the Adventurer's Satchel, everyone has that. After that, you'll get another bag in Black Lake District. So this would be your first free bag. So eventually Sergeant Knox will send you on a quest to go Black Lake Districts. Upon completing a couple of quests there, you'll give it another one, and upon completion of that, you will get a free bag that you can equip, increasing your overall inventory size. After that, there is also one in Neverdeath Graveyard. So again, you'll get a quest, go to Neverdeath Graveyard, you'll do a bunch of quests throughout there, and at the very end, you'll finish off your final quest there, and it will reward you with another bag. And the third free bag that you can get is from the Order of the Third Eye, given by Sabella. This starts at level 15. So it's this quest right here. So this one actually now gives you a bag upon completing it. This bag right here. So it starts off pretty simple. You get the quest, you go talk to her, she sends you off to Tower District, you collect a bunch of shards, you assemble the orbs, And then you have to go to Black Dagger's runes. You have to track down a couple of documents, and upon completion of that, you'll end up with your third free bag. So those are the 3 bags that you can earn for free in-game. Other ones that you want, you can purchase off the auction house. Bunch of different types. You got your green ones, which will give you a total of 12 slots. There's some blue ones. Oh, there's also an adventurer's bag that will give you 6 slots. Completely forgot about that one. There's some blue ones that will give you 24. And then the biggest bag, of course, gives you 36, which is the runic bag. You can also get these in the Zen store, but don't worry about that. That actually costs real money. So, number 4, guilds. So when you're playing Neverwinter, it's always a good idea to get into a guild. Guild's going to offer you a lot of different things. Everything from boon points, giving you an increase to your stats, your speed. Big one for you is going to be your experience bonus to increase your speed of leveling. There's a variety of quests, great way to meet people, form a small community, run dungeons and stuff together, and even level together. So it is a solid option to join a guild. If you wish to join a guild, all you have to do is hit G on your keyboard, or come over to this lady over here to ask about guilds. You can also have a look throughout your chat, as people will put up saying they're looking for people to join their guild. Always a good idea to jump into one of their guilds, help out. Guilds also have their own currency, which allows you to purchase a variety of decent items in there. So it is strongly recommended that you do join a guild when you get a chance. Number 5, daily randoms. So, when you are in the Black Lake District, and it happens around, I think, level 7, I could be wrong about that, you'll be able to start being able to do random leveling queues. It is recommended that you do your random leveling queue at least once a day, if not more. The main reason why is you get a nice chunk of rough astral diamonds. Rough astral diamonds can be converted. You'll hit refine and it will become astral diamonds. Astral diamonds is one of the main currencies in this game. You can refine up to 100,000 a day. When you're first leveling out, hitting that 100,000 mark is damn near impossible. So don't worry about that. It's later on, late game, you'll start being able to reach that cap. But at least once a day, you want to do your random leveling queue to earn yourself some rough astral diamonds, which you will refine, don't forget to refine it, into astral diamonds. That way you'll have some currency to spend in the auction house to help you out. Which brings us to our next part, the auction house. Number 6. So in the auction house, there's a couple of items you're going to want to pick up right off the bat once you start getting some refinement. So big ones, of course, are going to be your bonding rune stone. Pick up some rank 8s for incredibly cheap right now. They're only about a little over 1,000 a piece. So you'll be able to pick up a whole bunch of them for really cheap. You could go for the rank 9s, but they are a bit more expensive. You're looking at about 10,000 a piece. Not recommended right off the bat. But you're going to want to pick up at least 3 bonding runestones. And then you're going to want to put them onto your companion. Now you're going to have to level up your companion a few times in order to get all 3 bonding runestones in. Just at the very beginning, you're only going to be able to put in 1. But once you get them up to, I think it's rank 15, you can use 3 of them. Also, what you want to purchase is you want to pick up a couple of Azure enchantments. Now the reason we want Azure enchantments, rank, go with 8, so it should be cheap, yeah. So again, these are about the exact same price as your bondings, but the main reason we want these is because the utility slot gives you 41% XP bonus. So as you're leveling up, you're going to get gear with these slots available in it. Now, you're only going to need to pick up 3 Azure because you're only going to have 3 utility slots until you hit end game. So your utility slot's going to be on your helm, your arms, and your boots. These are the only places that utility slots will appear. They'll always appear there, nothing else. At least nothing that I've seen in games thus far. You'll get 2 more once you start getting artifact equipment. You'll have one in your neck and your waist, but by that point you'll already be max level, so I wouldn't worry about that. So you want to get 3 Azure enchantments, put them into your head, your arms, and your boots when you have the utility socket available. Not all gear will have the sockets available, so you can also search for equipment for your level in order to find them with sockets. You can also pick up some radiant enchantments to fill out for some more of your gear. So for increasing your power and your HP, it's quite nice. Definitely helps with rounding out your build, so you're not suffering through the leveling process. There will be a difficulty spike around the late 30s, early 40s in the levels. Right around the Pirate Skyhold area. That's where things start to get a little bit more difficult. But those will be the big ones to pick up. So another thing you want to pick up will be your companion equipment. You don't need anything extravagant, but any equipment will do. Just go to companion equipment under the companions tab. Just throw in something like a +3 enchantment type. You want to say offensive. This is going to help you out a lot. Make sure there's an offensive slot. Pick up 3 pieces so you can equip them onto your companion. And then you're also going to want to pick up 3 empowering rune stones. The empower rune stones, rank 8. So these are pretty cheap. Again, only looking at about 1,000 a piece. Pick up at least 3 of those, because you'll have 3 socketed companion gear. Put 1 in each. That's going to increase your power, because your bonding rune stones is going to grant you a bunch of your companion stats onto your character itself. So that's what what you want to use the auction house for. That really help boost you along, make things a little bit easier, so things aren't as crazy right off the bat. So now on to number 7. As we progress through our leveling system, we get our first mount. It's going to be a free white mount, so it's going to be one of the common ones. There's nothing incredibly special about it. It's just going to slight increase the move speed while riding it. It's nothing extravagant, but it is free. You'll get it from the leveling box that you're going to have on your character that Neverwinter will give you for free. And it also gives you a couple of other little useful knickknacks through it. It's actually quite nice. So you'll end up getting your first mount, and then you'll head down to the mount stables down here, pick it up. You'll have an option between 2 of them. Either one will do. Just equip that one, and then as you get it will automatically equip into here, and as you get your mount insignias from killing enemies and stuff like that, you want to equip them onto your mounts, and once you hit a particular combination, you'll actually get a bonus, insignia bonus, which is quite beneficial to help you out as well. So after that, we hit level 11, so we're on to number 8, Invoking. So Invoking is praying in this game. It's very important, and it's recommended that you do it immediately the moment you can. So at level 11, come up to Protector's Enclave, up to this lady right here, talk to her. She will give you the quest to pray. You'll have to be in a campfire zone, so anything with this like blue area, or you'll see all the campfires spread out throughout the areas. Usually they'll have one at a starting zone, and then usually one further along in a campaign zone in at least 2 areas. And then you'll just hit Control I, you'll pray, and each time you pray you'll get certain rewards. You'll get certain rewards. So you get a little experience boost, some rough ashel diamond bonus. Your first pray of the day will give you an earning coin, a celestial coin, and an invocation blessing. After that, you'll get celestial bags of refining for your other prays. If you don't have VIP, you'll only get 2 bags instead of the 4. I believe this one and this one doesn't have a bag. And then if you make it to your 6th blessing, you'll get an additional celestial coin, which we'll cover here in just a second. The way that praying works is at the very beginning of the day, so whenever server resets for you for the day, you'll be able to pray right away. Then you'll have a 15-minute wait. After that 15 minutes is up, you'll be able to pray for your second time. Then you'll have a 30-minute timer. Then you'll pray again. Then you'll have a 45-minute timer. You'll pray again. An hour timer. You'll pray again. And then you'll have an hour-and-a-half timer. And then you'll hit your final pray. And that's it. You won't be able to pray anymore for the rest of the day until reset tomorrow morning. Now, the reason why we want these ardent coins and celestial coins is because of this. So, you have 2 tabs. One is for your ardent, the other one is your celestial. So for ardent, most people will use these to get the elixirs. Big ones to get these days is the Stormwind elixir, because it increases your crit severity by 10%. Really big for DPSers and healers alike. Your heals can crit, so a lot of players will get these ones. But you can go through these, see whichever one you particularly like. I mean, there's ones for deflection, accuracy, power, defense, stuff like that. So other people will save them up, pick up some of these other things, get the horse, get some die packs. There's another horse up here, and there is a companion that you can pick up as well. The other thing that we get is the celestial coins. So the big thing with celestial coin is we don't worry about the elixir of faith. We actually worry about these 2. Now the big one between these 2 is the artifact one. Big reason we want these is because they have a chance to have a cold ward. So cold wards are the be all end all in this game. Same with pres wards. Cold wards just make upgrading things 100% guaranteed. Preservation wards just prevents the reagents from being destroyed. But the big one you want is cold ward out of these, so these are the ones you pick up. The reason why we go with the artifacts opposed to the enchantments one is the top part says here that you can get an amethyst, 2 amethysts, or a black pearl. And then one of the preservation ward, a coalescent ward, or a peridot. Usually you get the peridot. But this one, you can get enchanting stones. And enchanting stones are very useful because all your gears and all your enchantments and all your rune stones and stuff like that, it needs to be upgraded. Going from uncommon to common, or going from rank 1 all the way up to rank 15 are going to need enchanting stones of different ranks. So this is the main reason why we use the artifact one over the enchantment one. So I would recommend getting the artifact one. So that was praying. So number 9. And number 9, you will be for number 9 is all about the Acquisitions Incorporated campaign. So AI, for It's a short abbreviation version. Campaign. This is something you start at level 50. So once you start this, correction. Once you hit level 15, just have a look around Protector's Enclave, and you will find, where is it? Here's one. So you'll find these little posters. They'll be sparkling with the little glowy thing saying, hey, you can interact with me. You're going to want to go up to one of these, activate it, and start the quest line. Start working on Acquisitions Incorporated. You'll go through these. Every week you'll have a weekly haul of acorns. You'll use these acorns in order to progress through all the way through the campaign. And then at the very end, which one was it? Pretty sure it was this one. It's not showing up. You could get a rank 14 enchantment called the Heart Enchantment or something like that. I don't use it. I use Radiance on my guy, so I probably have it now that I think about it. Probably destroyed it. Nope, there it is. Heart of Fire, that's it. Heart of Fire, rank 14. You'll get that one for free. It'll be character bound. You can only get one per character, so if you have multiple characters running through, they're only going to get the one per each of the characters. But you're going to want to start hammering out Acquisitions Incorporated. This is going to take you a couple of weeks to a couple of months in order to complete. And there, of course, there's also boons. Boons will help out your character in a variety of different ways, increasing certain stats, overall damage, move speed, stuff like that. So at level 15, start the AI campaign. Number 10, professions. So at level 20, Sergeant Knox, this guy right over here, is going to give you a little quest to go about starting your professions. It's going to cause you to run all the way the frig down here. To start it. Now you're going to have your cutscenes, and then you're going to end up being told to pick a retainer. Pick any retainer you want, doesn't matter. 6 one way, half of them the other. Nothing special about any of them. Roll with it, whichever you prefer. Once you have your retainer, you'll be given a variety of quests. Those quests are going to be teaching you how to craft and stuff like that. But the big thing you want to do is you want to pick jewel crafting as your focus right off the bat. The big reason why you want jewel crafting is because this is going to be your money maker. The big thing you're going to make is going to be bone necklaces. It's going to be quick, easy. You're going to be able to do it pretty much right off the bat. And all you're going to need is some animal bone and some cotton yarn. Now you're going to be level 20 by the time you start doing this, so it shouldn't be a problem. You should have a little sum of resource or money, gold I should say. You'll probably be sitting 1, maybe 2 gold at this point, maybe a bit more. And you want to come to this guy, supply merchant, and then you're going to pick up where are they? So there's your animal bone. And then you need cotton. There's the cotton. You're going to pick up a bunch of those. It's really cheap. You probably pick up over 100 of each for less than a gold. Usually about half a gold. So you're going to pick those up, and then you're going to start crafting a bunch of bone necklaces. Well, this is one of those things where if you want to make money, you got to invest money. So once you have those resources, you can come back in here and you go to bone necklaces. You're going to select your artisan, you're going to select your tool, and if you have any supplements, you can put those in. and then make sure you use up all your morale for the day. It's going to cost you 5 morale to craft each one. The cost of this is just under 1 silver, and then combining with the resources here, call it basically 1 silver, and then you're going to turn around, you're going to sell that for 21 silver. So by crafting these, you're going to be making lots and lots of gold. It's going to be very important, especially later on, because as you're leveling up, you're going to be replacing your gear, and you're going to have to be constantly going in and unsocketing your equipment, which is going to cost you a large sum of money in order to do it, because you don't want to lose those enchantments that you bought off the auction house. So you're going to be have to unsocket the item, the enchantment, put the new piece of gear on, and then socket that enchantment into the new piece of gear. So that's why you really want to work on getting gold. So that's why I would always recommend going jewel crafting. Just go to town on bone necklaces. It's cheap, it's easy, can't go wrong with it. Alright, number 11. Artifacts. So, artifacts are very important. You have a total of 4 artifacts. When you first start out, you can have only 1 artifact equipped. Your other ones will become available to you at level 50, 60, and 70. So, the difference between a primary artifact and secondary artifacts is the secondary ones, you'll get the stats from it, so the power, the defense, crit avoidance, power, armor pen, combat advantage, stuff like that. You'll get those added onto your stats. But for your primary artifact, not only are you getting those stats, you also get the use function. So take the coated knives, for example. So if I activate this, activating this artifact will throw an array of knives, coat it with the venom, deal a bunch of damage, and cause ongoing damage for 10 seconds. Plus, enemies will also take 12% more damage and are weakened, causing them to deal 12% less damage. So, whenever an artifact is slotted into the primary slot, you'll be able to activate it and get the bonus from the where it says use. So if I had this one in the primary slot, I would be able to release a charge of electricity, stunning and damaging enemies in the that stand in my way. So you'll have to decide which primary artifact best works for your class. There is many, many, many artifacts out there. I'm sure you'll be able to find one. But speaking of artifacts, starting at level 21, you'll receive a quest to do to get your very first artifact. It is going to send you to the Black Dagger Ruins to go through a cave, tunnel, dungeon thingy. And at the end, you'll retrieve this box. You'll go back to the quest giver, who will then tell you to pick between 3 artifacts. You'll have the water artifact, the catalog, and the lantern. I would recommend for everyone to pick the lantern. The catalog may seem useful at the very beginning because it says that it will summon a shopkeep so you can buy and sell. But if you're paying attention to your inventory, you shouldn't need to worry about that. There's a vendor at the very beginning of every area, and usually somewhere in the middle of the area of each individual zone. So I wouldn't recommend going for that one. Lantern of Revelation is probably your best bet because you're also, when you activate this, any enemies that are around you are going to take 10% increased damage for 10 seconds. You just can't go wrong with it. So I would recommend that you pick up the lantern. Plus the armor pen, crit strike, and combat advantage goes a long way, especially early leveling. So that would be the main one I would recommend getting at 21. Then at level 60, there's 2 things that happen. One is your class artifact, which are these. So at level 60, you'll be able to go to the Sleeping Dragon Bridge, run through a small quest line, kill a bunch of things, kill the big bad, uncover a trove, return it back to Lord Neverwinter, and you'll be rewarded with your class sigil. So depending on which class you play is going to depend on which sigil you get. Once you do this, every other character that you make will have access to that sigil right off the bat. So if you make a paladin, you run it through, you kill the thing, you get your class artifact, and you decide to go back and you make a wizard. Well, the moment you make your wizard, you can run over to your rewards claim agent and access and get the sigil of the paladin right off the bat and put it onto your wizard. So it's quite useful. It's a free artifact, can't go wrong. Most of them actually offer some really decent usages and some really decent stats, especially early on, and even throughout the end game before you get to the exclusive end game. Your other free artifact is going to come from a quest line given by a captain. For the maze engines, at the very end you'll be rewarded with this one, Bruno's Helm. It's another free artifact. Can't go wrong. You'll end up having 3 free artifacts right off the bat. Also, Sibylla, once you complete her quest line, there's another free artifact in her store that you can pick up with her currency. So at that point you'll have 4 free artifacts at level 60. So, well, you'll probably be about 65 or so. But 4 free artifacts, can't go wrong. So the next one is at level 26. You're going to want to start the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. Once again, this is another long campaign. The main reason why this takes so long is these are on 20-hour cooldowns, and you got to do 3 times a piece, and then 5 times. These do take a while because you need a lot of what are these called again? Pages of arcane lore. You only get so many a day, and you get a weekly bunch as well. But it costs a lot in order to get your boons. So recommend starting this as soon as possible. It is a long campaign in order to complete. Then at level 60, you want to start your maze engine. This one's not too bad. This one takes probably close to 2 months to complete. Pretty straightforward. You'll get a bunch of quests. You'll go through. You'll earn these Tales of Adventurers every day. You'll unlock these, and you'll get boons along the way. Recommend starting this the moment you hit 60. Another campaign that you can start once you hit 60, Elemental Evil. Difference between this one and all the others, with the exception of the Undermountain, is this is not time gated, and this is not currency gated either. So you can start this, stop this. You could hammer this entire thing out in a night. Not recommend it. It is long, but you can do this fairly straightforward, fairly easily. And you can start that at 60 as well. You can start and stop it as you see fit. At 64, you want to start Sharandar Campaign. As you see now that we're starting to really get into the campaigns. This is actually a quick one. Only take a couple of weeks to complete. Hammer those out. And Bob's your uncle on that one. And then once you hit 70, Well, basically everything else comes available to you, including the Undermountain. Now, again, Elemental Evil and Undermountain, they're not time gated nor are they currency gated, so you'll be able to hammer them out quickly without any issues in that regard. Now, level 70. This is a big one. Once you hit 70, you're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to go straight to Sergeant Knox, and right behind Sergeant Knox, there's a table. You're going to see a little note on the table there. You're going to activate it. You're going to get a quest to go to the Moonstone Mast. This is going to start you on the Undermountain campaign. The main reason why we're doing this is because once we go to the Moonstone Mask and talk to Lord Neverwinter, he'll show us a vision, and then afterwards he say, "Here, take this gear." You're going to get a whole bunch of gear that is friggin' going to be 100 times better than what you're currently wearing. And then all the slots are going to have rank 8 enchantments in it too, and it's just going to make everything way easier once you put that gear on. You're going to be able to hammer out the Undermountain, your Elemental Evil campaigns. You're going to be able to run pretty much most of your campaigns with absolute ease. So it is strongly encouraged, once you hit 70, stop what you're doing. Go up to Sergeant Knox, to the table behind him, activate that, go get the gear. Once you got the gear, you can do whatever you want. But once you got that gear, everything's going to become so much easier. So it is strongly encouraged that you do that. So speaking of campaigns, again, Undermountain Elemental Evil are quite easy. There's no time cap, no currency cap on those, so it is recommend you do those. Ones like Dreadring, Sharandar, Maze Engine, Underdark, those ones are pretty simple, straightforward. Usually doesn't take super long. Unfortunately, ones like Storm King's Thunder, Cloaked Ascendancy, Chult, these ones are going to take you a bit longer. They're the really, really long ones, which brings us to our next point, is what happens at level 80. So at level 80, you'll be able to talk to Sabella again. Seems we always go back to the same people. So Sabella has now have a new location, and she's going to be up right beside Sergeant Knox on his left-hand side, your right-hand side, if you're looking at him. And she's going to have legacy campaigns to do every week. So every week she will give you 3 tasks. And it's going to be different ones depending on what you want to do. So this is her right here. So that's Sergeant Knox. This is Sabella. You're going to talk to her. So when you hit level 80, you'll be able to do 3 weekly legacy campaigns. So what these are is it's basically going to tell you what you have to do. So this one is defeat a bunch of enemies in the Storm King's Thunder campaign area. So if I do this, I'm going to get all this bonus currency, plus there is this thing called bonus campaign currency, which we'll cover in just a second. So this one, I got to complete a bunch of quests in Tyranny of Dragon campaign. And this one, I need to complete heroic encounters in the Chult campaign. So, you have the ability to pick a particular currency in order to receive upon completing these. It's not going to be, like thousands and thousands of currency, but you're going to be able to get a couple of bonus currency, which is going to expedite that particular campaign along a little bit faster than what it normally would take. So I recommend for people is either go with Storm King's Thunder or Cloaked Ascendancy. These would be the main 2 for the bonus currency, because these 2 are really, really long campaigns. Jungles of Chult is also another long one. Big problem with Jungles of Chult is it's actually 2 campaigns combined into one, where you actually have to work your way up the middle of the campaign of the bottom one in order to unlock the second tier of it, which is a bit of a pain. But I would recommend picking a particular currency of one of those three. That way when you pass these in, not only are you getting the currency for whichever the weekly it is, you're also getting bonus currency. And I'll just quickly show you what I mean by Jungles of Chult. So this is Jungles of Chult. So you got your Chult part, and then you have your Omu part. So you actually don't get to start Omu until you actually work your way up through here. So once you complete all this, you'll be able to move into Omu. That being said, this is just for the middle part. If you want to start doing the stuff over on this side with the monster hunts, you're going to have to work through and get all the monsters done here before you can move up onto this side. Same with the boons. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's the way it, unfortunately, it's designed. So definitely at level 80, start doing your legacy campaigns. You'll get 3 a week. Pick your bonus currency, whichever you so please. Again, I'd recommend Storm King's Thunder or Cloaked Ascendancy. They're 2 of the longest campaigns in the game. So, last but not least, we're going to talk about in-game chat. It's very important. A lot of people don't quite understand it right off the bat, so I'm going to try to break this down as easily as possible so people can understand. So the very important thing to note, first off, is we use a lot of acronyms in this game to represent a variety of different things. So we'll take this line, for example. It says LF1M DPS REQ. That might make very little sense to you other than the DPS part. So what that's saying is this particular person is looking for one member, a DPS class, for a random expert queue. So if we go here, under random, we'll see a random expert queue. So we use a lot of acronyms. We'll break things down. So like this is RAQ, this is RIQ, this is RLQ. If we move into the dungeons, we got like KR. So a lot of people either say Kessels or KR. Castle Never is CN. Valindra's Tower is VT. You know, Tomb of the Nine Gods is Tong, TONG. Same with the skirmishes. Use acronyms. A lot of people don't actually queue up for form groups for those, unless it's the Lucius Gambit back in the day. But for your epic trials, again, Cradle, well, people will either say Cradle or CODG, Demigorgon, put down Demo. Basically common sense. You take a couple of letters from whatever it's saying to form the general idea of the information that you're trying to get across. So that's what a lot of people will use when they're looking for people to join their group. Is going to be LF, a particular number of people, and the letter M for member. Now, if you see someone write in, so here's one for LF2, where they're looking for a tank and a heal class for an RAQ, so a random advanced queue. So if I'm looking to join a particular group, like if I want to run a Castle Never as a tank, but I'm not seeing anyone running Castle Never, I can throw up in the chat LFG, so I'm looking for a group. And then I'll put down CN, letting them know I want to run Castle Never, and that I'm a tank. Some people also ask that you put in your item level. Don't worry about that. With the new scaling going on, it don't matter. So you can just forget about that. The only thing that item level is really going to come into play is if you can run a particular dungeon, because certain dungeons require you to be at certain item level. Basically, if you're running if you completed the Under Mountain, you'll have enough item level to run everything except LOM, which is Lair of the Mad Mage, LOMM. So once again, they're still looking for 2 members, RAQ, a tank and a heal. So if you're using the LFM, it means you are requesting people to tell you that to join. But if you're using LFG, it means that you are looking for a group to join. So if I want to join this group and be a tank, I would right click on their name, hit private tell, and then it will come up here, and then I'll just write in add please tank, and that will let them know that I want to join as a tank, and I would hit enter, and they would send me an invite to join their group. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for you to fully understand what's going on in this chat. So right here we have a person that's looking for a group who's a control wizard with their item level, which is 25.7k, and they're looking to do either an RAQ or an REQ. So they're looking to do either a random advanced queue or a random expert queue. So that's how you're going to be using your chat. Now, speaking of chat, you're going to have a couple of channels. These are going to come and go. Some channels die out after time. Some channels are always good. You're going to start off with your standard ones. You're going to have a zone, a trade, a say, looking for a group, a guild, and an alliance. And then you can eventually start getting invites to go to into other channels or create your own in order to run content. If you're going to be looking for a group, of course, start off with the looking for group, and you can also use the zone chat for a zone. If you are going to be doing for a zone chat, 2 places to do it would be Protector's Enclave, and if it's for Master Expeditions, then it is encouraged that you do it in zone chat in the Yawning Portal. If you use zone chat in any other zone, you're probably not going to find anyone, so it's best just to stick with looking for group. But that pretty much covers chat. So hopefully that's helped you out. Hopefully all this information has proved to be useful in some way to you. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, queries, of course, throw them down in chat or into the discussion area below, whatever it's called, and I'll be more than happy to pass on any other information. So I wish you all the very best. Goodbye for now.